Good evening and welcome to the May 11th Caribou City Council meeting. First item tonight is public input, and we have Vicki Conley on the thing here, and then whoever else, but
Hi, I'm Vicki Conley. I am from the Caribou ATV Club, president. I'm here tonight on behalf of our members. They want a mud bog this year as a fundraiser. Some private land has been donated, and we're looking for just public access route along the Boyles Road down to the property, which is 1.28 of a tenth of a mile.
when is this planned for?
June 28th, it's a Sunday.
Okay.
We're thinking starting at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then the races would start at 11:30.
What I would suggest is that you, do you have the request in writing? Or
No.
a map showing where
I do
you-
have the, yep, I do
If
have,
you have that, I would suggest you leave it with us, because I think we'd like to have the police department in that check and make sure they don't have any problems with it.
Chief Gahagan has been given a copy of this, the proposed route, and there was a question of wetlands on there, which have been deemed not by Eric Hitchcock, DEP. I had him out and visited the property, and he's got a letter here stating that it is okay to roll with that as far as they go.
We've received a copy of that letter from
Yeah.
DEP today.
Yeah.
All right, so, but has Mike looked at it? Is he,
I don't know that he's had a chance to review it.
I gave it to him, Monday last week.
okay.
Yeah, and I've been in contact with him through email.
I don't see a problem, Vicki, but I
I
you know, I
totally
want to
understand.
hear
Yeah.
from him first that,
Yeah.
no, they don't see any problem with doing it and so on. Yes, go ahead, Councilor McDonald.
How are they getting to the Boyles Road?
I'm asking for access off the trails, the limestone connector and the other part of the limestone connector, which is across the Hicks Bridge. Anything else will have to be trailered in. I don't want to go down the Baird Road that has been denied before, so I just don't want to visit that area, an idea. So we will be requesting everybody to trailer their four-wheelers in and park in the appropriate designated areas.
So there won't be any traffic out on Route 89 trying to access the
No,
Boyles Road or
not,
anything like that?
not with our authorization, no.
And the trail system down in behind there will accommodate
Correct.
all ATVs or just
They,
single seat?
if they're the side-by-sides and they're 60 inches wide, they will not come across the Hicks Bridge, so they will have to find an alternate route by trailer.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? As I say, I don't see where there'll be a big problem, but I'd like to know that Mike has reviewed it and he doesn't see any problems and
Okay.
so on.
When's it gonna be again?
June 28th.
June
June
28th.
28th, it's a Sunday.
Take that up the next meeting. Put it on the agenda.
Yeah, okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Next meeting is June 8th. Is that enough time?
Anyone else have public input tonight?
Mr. Mayor, Council, and City Manager, my name is Milo Haney. On April 13, 2015, I was in here about my personal property tax. That night, the councils waived the interest that had occurred, providing I paid it within 30 days. Since that day, I've been working with Penny Thompson and Tony Mitchell to get my taxes in line to where they should be. I feel they've both done a very good job, and they have obtained for me a hearing with the tax assessor on May 13, 2015. What I'm asking for tonight is 1 month extension to see what, if anything, the assessors will do to bring my taxes down to where they should have been.
Okay, well, that is on the agenda tonight for us to discuss, so. You're gonna be here anyway in case we have any other questions.
I have to leave, but
Oh, okay,
I wonder.
all right.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. My name is Paul Camping, and I'm spokesman for the Caribou Secession Committee. Mayor, when I spoke to you on the phone midweek last week, we talked about being ready to proceed to the public hearing, and I informed you that I was waiting for some clarification from Mr. Blease on the mill rate calculation form. And I want to thank you, Mr. Blease. I did receive that tonight, and we have completed our report. We are ready to proceed, and the public hearing can be held at any time, any place, on any date. Just let us know, and we will be there.
Okay. Did you want to provide your report to be posted on the city website for everyone to look at so they can prepare themselves for the meeting?
We can do that shortly before the public hearing. However, right now, it's being reviewed by our professional team. We have retained the services of a CPA and an attorney.
Okay.
I look forward to seeing the notice in the newspaper. Thank you very much for your time.
Have they given you any idea how long it'll take them to get through it, Paul?
They have not.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Any other public input? All right, any council members have a conflict of interest from any of the agenda items? All right. Number 3, consider authorizing the minutes of the following meetings. April 27th, 2015 City Council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Approved. Consent agenda, Thursdays on Sweden, April 2015 Police Department report, Fire Department report, Library report, RSU budget referendum, Planning Board resignation and appointments. Some of these we may, the Planning Board we'll have to do separately, I would take it. Or you want to do them all as a,
I don't know why we couldn't do them.
I guess you can do them all together. All right,
Question.
yep.
On Thursdays on Sweden Street?
Yep.
I don't mind acting on that request. I just would like to be kept abreast in case there may be any objections. So just an email or something to us. Okay? And can I ask one more?
Yep.
Is Graham Breen officially done? Because I know he was at the last meeting.
His resignation was the day after the meeting, so.
Okay, so he is done. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Mayor, can I move that we move the slate to the consent agenda?
Second.
Moved by Counselor McDonough, second by Counselor Martin to approve the consent agenda. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor? Approved. Secession Committee, I guess we've been informed that they're done and it's in the hands of their professional team. Would council have some preferences on a date they'd like to set for the hearing? Or do we want to wait till the report?
You mentioned the Saturday. It seemed to work pretty good for everybody as far as the time frame. The morning was brought up several times.
Well, do we want to set the date now, or do we want to wait till the professional team has reviewed it and it's ready to be published?
We
Might
set,
as well go ahead and set it, I would,
set it far enough out so that gives us gives them some time frame. We could put it
right.
mid to end of June. Or,
And are we looking at Saturday? Is that what council would prefer?
Not necessarily.
prefer a weeknight myself.
Yeah, I'd prefer a
that's
weeknight.
prefer a weeknight.
Yeah.
Counselor Martin?
Is there anything that, I mean, it doesn't sound like they want to publish their findings anytime soon. There's no way we can make that a condition.
No, that's not part of it.
Yeah, look,
You know, I just feel that, you know, if it's published beforehand, the people that come to the meeting will at least have read it, will have know what they're looking at, and they
Absolutely.
can formulate any questions they have to be asked at the public hearing. Rather than coming to the public hearing, having just read it the same day or whatever, and not even had a chance to think about it, so hopefully they'll have it, they'll put it out, you know, a week or two before, so that
For a week.
people will get a chance to look at it.
And when is the school city, town meeting type?
May
For a weeknight.
20.
I prefer we.
It
The
doesn't
last
matter.
week. of May.
29th, isn't it?
It-
Did I read that
Mm, I
in the
was-
letter?
I thought
Just
No.
not a Saturday
28th.
night.
No, I was thinking the Saturday morning.
Well, I could go back and find it.
For 3 weeks from now, would that be plenty of time?
Typically, it's the last week of May.
It's gotta be so many days before the
Right.
Well,
referendum anyway.
It's
the,
on warrant, isn't it?
No.
The date of the hearing, isn't it on the warrant? Maybe not. No, I
this
guess not.
is the 11th.
No. Well,
We wouldn't get it in the paper this week anyway, would we?
We could get it in first thing in the morning to be in the paper on the 13th.
How about June 11th?
June 11th?
What day is that?
Thursday?
Thursday?
Works for me, I guess.
That's fine. Yep.
June 11th.
When's our next meeting? The 9th?
The 8th.
The 8th.
The 8th, okay. Yeah, then if we had questions, or whatever.
June the 11th? I don't have any problem with that.
Fine with me?
Chances are, when's graduation? You're not gonna get the.
Not on
full-
Thursday.
Probably
Wouldn't be
wouldn't
on a
get the.
Thursday, would it? No.
Yeah, well, they have class night and all those things, so I don't know. I don't know when graduation is, but.
Oh, you'd
I
have
would
to
guess
check.
it's the
The
14th.
14th would be the graduation.
So chances are you're not gonna get the PAC that week.
Go 1 week further out, and then you'll be,
Is the CPAC schedule is on the webpage? I believe,
Yeah, that's right.
it's
We've got
kept
to
up to date.
find out if anybody else is tax free.
Sorry to make you go through all that.
Well, no, there's no sense setting a date and then having to change it.
It looks to be fairly free the week of June 22nd.
June 20, what about June 11th? No?
There's nothing listed, no.
Do they have class night and that stuff listed?
Middle school recognition night is the 17th, and they have a piano recital on June 9th. There's nothing between those two dates listed.
Well, we'd have to confirm it, but is that what we should look at, the 11th?
Should we maybe pick 2 dates, just in case the 11th doesn't work? And see if the
How
11th
about,
works.
yeah, how about the date at the,
And then
one
check,
that week and one the week,
yeah,
the 22nd?
just in case CPAC has something else.
and when, depending on when you find out, just publish the appropriate date.
Yeah, but if we do it the 11th or the next week, we have plenty of time, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be in tomorrow's paper for that,
Right, we
does
could
it?
even publish it next week.
But you
Yeah.
could publish that we're looking at those 2 dates if you wanted to. Whatever 2 dates they are.
Would confuse people,
Yeah.
possibly.
I would say the 11th or the 25th, not the 18th, because we have Thursdays on Sweden,
Right.
so we want to do it down there.
We don't want to do that. That would be a good place.
Unless you did it
Good place.
Plenty of
Tuesday of that week instead of the Thursday.
You talking June 16th?
So check on June 11th and one other date, Austin, there, the 26th or the Tuesday of the Thursday on Sweden week.
So the 11th or the 16th?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we set the date for the 11th with an alternative date of the 16th.
Second.
At 6 PM?
6 p.m.
At 6 PM.
Second.
Is that early enough?
Is that what?
Is that early enough?
I think we're gonna be very lucky to do it in one evening, myself.
Right.
May request required too.
I don't think you can set it much earlier than that, though, with
No,
people
with
working.
work, yeah.
No.
Okay.
If it goes much past that, we'll suspend it and have another night.
Yeah,
So June,
Tim Hortons on speed dial.
June 11th with an alternate date of the 16th.
Coffee delivery.
all right, any other discussion?
I can't go.
Yeah, we picked a
That's my
moderator for that.
anniversary.
Does anybody pick a rep?
Bring a date?
It's been discussed, and we'll have to talk to them again whether we've made some suggestions to them.
Now, this is at the PAC?
That's my
Yeah.
understanding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, PC. Throw that in there.
Anybody second that motion?
Yep.
I'm waiting if there's any more questions. No? All in favor? Passed. Administration ordinance changes.
Number 6.
Oh, Milo Haney, sorry. Milo's request.
He has a question. Go ahead.
How many years was he behind when he started having his issues and he hadn't paid his taxes?
Started with the 2012 commitment is when the.
So 2012 forward, okay. Now, are there any questions with the 2012 and 2013 figures, or is it just 2014 that he's questioning now?
He's questioning now the 2014 figures, which is why he has the appearance with the Board of Assessors. I don't know if he agrees with the 2012 or 13 or not.
So we don't know if he's happy with those 2 prior years. Do you happen to know, Ms. Thompson?
He can't be unhappy with them because his time's passed.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only one that can be changed is the 2014.
Depending on what's gonna happen.
With 15. So we won't hear from him on 15, because Tony's worked with him on that.
I guess my question is that there's no reason why he probably can't pay a portion of them, and then, if he's gonna contest the 2014, then we'll, hold off on that one a while. Is there a potential that he may have to go set?
I don't know. I mean, they'll make the Board of Assessors will make their decision on Wednesday.
Right.
Now, whether he'll appeal that to the county commissioners, I'm not sure.
What's the appellate period, 30 days,
60.
60?
So regardless of what comes out of this hearing, I'm understanding 2012 and 13 can't change,
Correct.
and then the 14s can change.
Correct.
And then there could be the time frame of up to 60 days to determine that,
Correct.
Or longer?
or longer, I
Yeah,
guess.
I mean, if it gets run out, sure.
I guess I made the original motion, but I'd make a motion that he pays the 12 and the 13s. And then 30 days to see what the outcome of the remainder is.
Yeah, it doesn't even, I guess he doesn't have a time frame he's even looking for on here, does he?
He asked for 30
Yes, for
days.
30
in his
days.
public-
For the whole thing?
Another 30 days for
Just another 30 days on everything.
Well, I guess that's not bad of a deal either. They hopefully may be solved by then anyway, right? The 14 and 15?
Yeah, we hope so.
We hope so. Well, okay, then I'll change it. I'll give him the 30 days, I guess. Or make a motion that he's 30 days for the same deal.
And then what happens if he hasn't finished the process by then? Because he may not in 30 days, right?
I mean, anything's possible.
He would have to pay whatever is assessed now, and if there was a change, would that be like a credit, or if for some reason he paid him and there was a difference?
Yes.
So if he pays the full amount and then it goes over the 60 days and there's a discrepancy, it would be an adjustment made?
Is there a refund or just a credit?
No, we would refund it. I mean, it would be up to the collector, but she always
Yeah.
sends them a check. Yeah.
Was there a second to that motion yet?
No.
If there's no question on 12 and 13, I think we should hold him to the whatever the agreement was on those 2 years, and then let him go through on the one that can be contested, would be my personal.
I agree with that, too.
So
That was the original motion I had.
Oh, that's the
Was that the
original?
original motion? I changed it to the 30
yeah, he
days.
changed it to the whole thing. to
To
30
the whole
days.
thing, agreeable. What was the time frame to pay on the original 30 days? When is that up?
Wednesday.
So we
This
got-
week. Yeah. Because it was April 13th.
So it'll be the same day the Board of Assessors meet, and they'll make a decision at their meeting, and they meet 8 a.m. So he'd have all day to come in.
So you, feelings is to pay the 12 and 13?
I think they should be, because.
Under the original agreement,
Right,
and
yeah,
then 30
'cause there's
days.
no, that's not gonna change, so there's no reason that shouldn't be paid.
Now, with the consensus of the council, I'll amend to the original motion, pay the 12 and 13s, an original time frame, and 30 days on the remainder.
Second?
And the Councilor Smith, seconded by Councilor Martin, to require Mr. Haney to pay the taxes for 2012 and 13, and allow a 30 days extension on 2014, so he can find out from the tax assessor whether it's going to be changed or not.
And that'll still include waiving the interest? He still won't have to pay the interest because
For
he's paying
14.
for 14.
Or if he pays within the original timeframe.
Okay,
for 2012.
yeah.
Any other questions, comments? All those in favor? Passed. Administration ordinance changes. Manager, please.
We have on the following pages the proposed changes to the sexual harassment policy of the administration ordinance. Changes being made based upon the recommendations of the Department of Justice. We introduced this at our last meeting. It was advertised. We need to hold a public hearing, and the council may act on it.
Well, this is going to be very quick, I think. We'll now go into the public hearing on the administration ordinance changes. Any input from the audience? Any comments or questions from council? Public hearing is closed at 6:23.
Mary, can I move that we accept the changes presented to ordinance chapter 2 administration for the harassment policy?
Second?
Moved by Councilor McDonough, seconded by Councilor Terrio to accept the proposed changes to the administrative ordinance. All those in favor? Approved. 16 Sincock Street. Oh, yes. Okay, manager, please.
In early April, I sent a letter to Bruce Wesson, the owner of 16 Sincock Street, asking him to contact me to discuss what his plans are for the property. This home burnt last fall. It's open to trespass and is dangerous. There are several other code violations at the location as well. I've not heard from him at all on the issue. So tonight I'm asking the council to begin the dangerous buildings proceedings on this property. By statute, the council must set a hearing date and time, and that notice must be served on the owner. Given that he lives in Florida, it might take some time to serve the owner, and so I'm suggesting a hearing date for our second meeting in June. At this time, there does not appear to be any interested parties. We've done the title search. There was a mortgage on the property from the early 80s. We're trying to verify whether that got discharged. If there is an interested party, we will certainly make sure that they are served as well. For council's information, back in 1990, similar proceedings were started on, and orders for repair or demolition given on the same property owner, but for property located on York Street. So the proposed notice of hearing is on the following pages.
Mary, can I move that we initiate Title 17 proceedings on 16 Sincock Street, map 28, lot 139?
Second. Oh, no. you
And
just
hold a public
introducing?
hearing.
No, I make a motion to do it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I second his motion.
Do we not have to make the motion to include the?
No, we
public
do
hearing?
have to, as part of, the motion would include the hearing date and time for
Okay.
June 22nd at 6 o'clock, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
All those in favor?
I got a question.
Oh,
Sorry, just a quick question. Has fire and police been involved in that?
Fire was involved in putting the fire out.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But have they been involved in the,
Right.
making any kind of recommendations?
They're aware of this
Okay.
process.
Thank you, sorry, carry on.
all those in favor? Approved. City investments.
The investment committee is recommending that we invest $3 million of the money we'll be receiving back from Main State Retirement System into 5-year CDs with a Rustic Savings and Loan at an interest rate of 3%. It's their goal, Rustic Savings and Loan's goal, to reinvest the money in the city of Caribou by lending it out to businesses in our city or helping people buy or build homes here in Caribou. So if for some reason we need to break a CD, we would lose up to 6-month interest on that CD. The remainder of the funds coming back from Main State, which as of November 30th was a little over $453,000, would be placed into the G1417 compensated absences account. That would bring the amount in that account to $505,913. The cumulative total for vacation and sick pay payouts as of the end of 14 was $598,675. So that would bring the account into good shape for the next several years. We would still need to put money into it going forward to make sure that it's covered, though. So we would need council authorizations to make the investments.
I agree with the investment. The balance, I would rather just see go into our general reserve account.
Into an undesignated fund balance.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
I'd like, the non-union people have already been capped, correct? Maybe we could use some of that money to pay them off,
Buy them out today.
buy them out, because they're not, it's not gonna gain.
It would,
We can put it in the general reserve and still do that. Take it out of there then, can we not? For that purpose?
we'd have to shift some money around at some point. But it would make sense to buy people out today because it was capped at the number of hours and COLAs would be added onto that if they continue to work. So it certainly would make sense to buy some people out today. And I know there is interest from some to be bought out today and not tomorrow.
Yeah.
Then you're not, yeah, I think that'd be a good idea. I'd like to make a motion on the first part that we invest into Rustic Savings and Loans at 3% for 5 years, $3 million.
Second.
Moved by Councillor Martin, second by Councillor Terrio to invest $3 million in a Rustic Savings and Loan. That's in three $1 million CDs, correct?
That's how I understand it.
Yeah, okay. Any other questions or comments about that part? All those in favor? Approved.
And Mayor Aiken, I'd like to make a motion to put the remainder of the funds into an undesignated account, is in reserves, whatever you want to, but to also offer a buyout for non-union employees.
Is that line 600 on the, okay.
What exactly is the buyout? I guess I don't understand.
Well, people can accrue X number of hours of sick leave, and then when they retire, they're paid for those hours.
Yes.
But we cap those hours for the non-union employees as of last January 1st. So whatever they have coming to them, whether they retire today or 15 years from now, that amount is not going to change. Or that number of hours is not going to change. So
Some of them may want to take it out now rather than wait.
right.
It doesn't, I guess he says, like you
Well,
said.
it would go up, because as their salary goes up, how come we never do that on, we're gonna pay you at the rate of your making when you banked them?
That was proposed as an option. The council decided not to do it.
I'll second that.
Councilman Tuggle.
So what's what is that balance? What number is that Mr. Martin has alluded to? The 598
Oh.
or 5?
That's around $600,000 right now.
This is the amount of money we will received back from the Maine State Retirement System
Yep.
above the 3 million.
Okay, yeah.
As of-
That's what it was in November. We
Right,
don't
it
know
might,
what it
it might
is
even
today.
be more, I would
Okay.
expect it's more than that right now,
Yep.
but that's the balance.
Okay.
yeah.
I don't think so, because I think the stock market was just about the same in November as it is right now.
Was that right?
It's gone up and down since, but I think it was close to that. So.
So we had about 50,000 in that account for unfunded liabilities. Yep, roughly. Yep, okay, thank you.
So with this injection into the reserve line, we shouldn't have to ask for a tax note.
It doesn't,
think-
it doesn't matter where we put it, if it goes into the undesignated or if it goes into the compensated absences, it would all go into the checking account.
Right.
And so for cash flow purposes, no matter what balance sheet line we put it into, it's gonna help us out, so we should be able to avoid a tan.
Okay, thank you. That was my question back then when we were discussing it anyway.
But it's, the tan is all about cash flow, cash in the checking book.
Correct.
And, you know,
Oh,
it doesn't
I'm
matter
sorry,
which reserve account it
Yeah.
goes into. From an accounting standpoint, it seems like if we're going to offer the buyouts, it might just make more sense to put it into the compensated absence line, if that's where we're gonna pay it out from, rather than putting it into the undesignated reserve and then moving it back and forth.
Do we know what the estimated buyout would be? But you just want it non-union right now, correct? Because we haven't.
You don't know. I mean, you don't know how many will and how many won't. Or,
No idea.
Right, plus you
and then if
can't-
you do it with the, you know, if the union deal changes to the same way, they'll probably want to do the same thing, or some of them may. I don't know. You know, as I said, my only problem with putting it into that account is we no longer have to fund that then,
No, it would still need.
on
to
a
fund
yearly
it.
basis.
We would still need to fund that on a yearly basis.
Well, we certainly wouldn't for a number of years.
I think it would be prudent to do so.
Well, I do too, but I also think it's prudent not to lose sight of the fact of how much money we owe there. And I'm just worried that if we don't have to put that much in there, then it ends up, the money gets spent somewhere else. And because, you know, this year we don't have $80,000 we need in that account because of people that are leaving. Because the money's already sitting in there. And so when you do your expenses for the year, that $80,000 doesn't show up as an expense for that year, because the money's already set aside in the account for it.
It would be an expense that gets moved into the
Yeah,
general ledger.
It would expense out.
but it wouldn't affect the taxes or anything else that year because the money's already sitting in there.
Just like when we buy any major capital
Yeah.
equipment, it's,
Yeah.
you put the money away on an annual basis for it.
Anyway, that's my only concern, that you put it all in there, everybody loses sight of the fact, and we just spend money somewhere else, and we all understand, I think, that we can't keep spending money, so.
The motion on the table is to use all of that. Is that towards unfunded balance? Is that what the motion's for? Because I didn't get a definition there.
The motion is to put it into an account,
Yep.
The general account, correct?
Into the undesignated fund
the
balance.
reserve accounts, well, yeah, and to use
A portion
a
of it.
portion of it to buy out the non-union people if they so wish to be bought out.
Why don't we just put it in the undesignated account? And then if it turns out that we have a number, you can find out how many people want to, then you can transfer that into it or out of it for that purpose, correct?
Yeah, that's, well,
Because we don't know how much it'll be now or anything.
Right.
And we'll have to vote on that regardless, will we not?
Yes.
Once you come up with the numbers. So why don't we just have the motion to put it into the undesignated account? And then whatever it turns out, then we'll do it when we have to. A bunch of them prefer them have the money now.
Yeah, whatever. I think it would just save us money if the more people we
Yeah,
can get.
I
together.
understand that, yeah. I'm not against doing that. I'm just saying, rather than putting it into that account, because you don't know if you're gonna need it all there right now or not, just put it into the undesignated account, and then whatever we need there, we can transfer and pay off whoever wants to be paid off and be done with it.
Doesn't make a difference to me. That's what the motion says. I mean.
that's what I think the motion
What you're
is,
saying is the motion.
Okay.
and I seconded it.
Seconded by Counselor Smith. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor? Passed. Fire truck.
So at the last meeting, the council rejected all the bids on the fire truck, so we sought further clarification from FEMA on selling our old fire truck. According to them, the truck must be permanently removed from emergency service. That means we can't sell it to another operation, US, Canada, any place. And we must also have whoever we do sell it to certify that it won't be used for firefighting operations. So our plan is to go out for bid once again with a minimum bid of $7,000, unless the council would like to take a different path.
So, I do have a question about this, because I know the three bids we had.
Yep.
I know one of them was from down in,
Yeah.
and my understanding is they sell these trucks to South America, for instance, and ship them down there, and they're used as fire trucks down there.
And if we were just getting rid of it without having received the grant to replace it, that would have been perfectly fine. But because we received the grant to replace the truck,
So we can't even sell it to them.
we can, but they have to certify that it won't be used as firefighting operations.
Oh, okay. And then they just sell it anyway as firefighting. But we don't know that.
Doesn't matter, we have a certification that says they're not gonna.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not look at the great deal we got. I mean, you know,
Oh, I know.
I mean, it'd be nice to make as much as you can out of it, but it's
No, I just wanted to understand the deal, because I know it's gonna go as a fire truck. I just,
Well, if the council wanted to not sell it to that organization.
oh, no, I'm not against that. I just,
Covered, that's
I
fine.
guess as long as we have something that states they're not gonna use it or resell it as a fire truck, they're not gonna use it as a fire truck, but I was wondering if the catch is the fact that they're not the original owner that got the grant, so they can sell it to a fire department.
They have to certify to us that it won't be used or sold for fire truck purposes.
can it be sold as parts
Scrap or.
to a fire truck?
Yeah, they can
Put it back
cannibalize the
together.
parts off it, they just can't use the whole unit.
Right.
What was the high bid last time?
$4,567.89.
Heartbreaking.
So why'd you set a minimum of 7,000?
I think we could get a little bit more for it than that.
Probably from the company that's gonna resell it,
Yeah.
that bid the last time.
Yeah, well, who cares?
That's kind of what I think too.
Well, then you should have put a minimum of, if it's worth 60 or 80, like you said, maybe they'd pay 20 for it.
I don't think that.
The council wants to set a higher minimum. Certainly can.
Oh,
Don't forget, they got a big freight bill and everything to get it where they want to put it, so.
They got dealer tags,
Huh?
dealer plates. You drive it.
Yeah, right across the ocean. Well, what does council want to do? Is this acceptable, the $7,000 minimum?
So moved.
Second.
By Counselor Terrio, second by Counselor Smith, to put it back out with a minimum bid of $7,000. All those in favor? Geez, how many in favor? I didn't see many hands.
No, we said we're in favor.
Oh, there's 3 there.
Sorry.
Opposed? 4-2, passed. Municipal building, manager, please.
With the proceeds of the sale of the 63 Sweden Street building, we'd like to use the funds to make some needed improvements to this building. One project that is of an urgent nature is the brick facade on the hose tower right outside these windows here. On the side facing the police department, some of the bricks have fallen off. They're quarter bricks that were put up in sheets. According to the mason we talked with, that's not a very practical solution for our climate. So we'd like to put up some type of siding on the tower, something that would look like bricks to match the rest of the building. One other project that we'd like to look into is possibly the remodeling of the main floor of the municipal building. It would make sense to move the vehicle registration into the clerk's office, potentially make where the vehicle registration is now into offices that would house some of our services citizens use the most, such as housing and assessing, so that they can walk in on the main floor. Another option would be to move the council chambers to that area and make the offices out to the current council chambers. That way we would have a larger council chambers. If the council would rather not remodel, we do need to replace the carpet in the main floor of the building. I'd also like to look into getting some heat pumps in the building to help with the cooling costs in the summer and heating in the winter. That would be a lot more effective to cool it with heat pumps than the current window units that we use, and a lot quieter, especially here in the council chambers.
Do we have any prices on anything, Austin, or is this just,
We had a ballpark for the remodeling, but other than that, and that was 2 years ago. So I'd want to, anything we would do, we would go out for our.
I mean, my suggestion would be we should get prices on, you know, what it would it cost to do the carpeting, what would it cost to do some of the remodeling, and then maybe look at it on that basis. I mean,
Right, I wanted to get the general
I
feedback.
think the brick deal has to be dealt with, though, very quickly, because next thing it's going to fall on somebody's head. Counselor McDonough.
There's some other brick issues where the fascia is falling off the sides of the buildings and along the foundation. Is that gonna be included in that repair?
That, we do need to do that. That was a tuck pointing thing that would be separate from that, because that would need to become a siding, but a mason to give us quotes on tuck pointing is one of the other projects that we do need to
Okay.
look into.
Currently, we put about 16 portable air conditioners in the windows in this building in the summertime. I've counted them, okay?
Yeah,
And
sounds
I
right.
certainly, and I've mentioned this well in the past also, that would certainly be a good idea. And now, especially with the enhancement for the heat pumps, I strongly recommend that. But is there any reason why we can't just put the money into the municipal building fund and then identify where we want it to go?
No, we can certainly do that. Right now, it's all on the balance sheet as 63 Sweden Street.
Because those are some of the things that have been neglected and need to happen, and I don't see any reason why, you know, we shouldn't do that.
Counselor Martin.
Yeah, there's a lot of wasted space in the room next door. I mean, that's huge. So, I mean, if you need room, it doesn't make sense to put carpets on this whole floor and then, so I'd rather see the remodeling done before the carpets are done, or at least a plan of,
Yeah.
Well, I think that's, we need to see how much we're talking about here for the different things, and then decide from there.
Don't we have a municipal building committee? Make recommendations.
If the committee wants to meet on that, we can discuss it.
Let's put together several different options with prices, and then choose which options or the package, or
how much money have you got?
We'll have about 73,000 from the sale of the building.
What's up in the host tower? I don't read out there.
Storage space. The computer servers are in there, and upstairs it's old paper files. So cold storage.
You want to tear it down?
Do we need? Yeah, I don't know.
Is it the,
an option. It's an option.
no, that's a separate section.
No, the furnace is not underneath it, no. It might make sense to look into that too if the council wants to. We've had some issues with the roof up there leaking and everything as well, so.
Counselor McDonough.
I'd like to make a motion that we at least put the funds into the municipal building fund line, and then the building committee meet and determine the best use, or uses.
Second?
Moved by Counselor McDonough, second by Counselor Martin, to put the money from the sale of the 63 Sweden Street building into the city building fund.
One question on that.
Yeah.
So was that where that money was originally designated to go anyway?
No, this is money from the proceeds of the sale.
But was the purpose of that at the time to?
I don't think there was any,
We had talked about it, the council had talked about it, but there was never any final decision made as to where that would go.
And if there's a question to the public about how come it's not 150,000, it's because half of the proceeds went to the,
Caribou Economic Growth Council, CEGC.
Once that, well, I guess my question would be, once it's in that municipal building, is it earmarked and it has to stay right there? Or
No.
can it be,
we can move money.
you can move it around, okay, that's all. That's your question.
all right, any other questions? All those in favor? Approved.
Now, I'm the building committee. Am I the chair of the building
I
committee?
think you are.
Okay. So, when you, Austin, when you have ideas of what you'd like to do, let us know and we'll call a meeting.
We'll put together some RFPs to put out, and so it'll probably be a few weeks at least, 3-4 weeks. Let everybody know.
Can you get rebates on heat pumps, or is that gone?
That was a question.
So that's still on? Yeah, I don't know.
July
if it's still
1st.
on.
I don't think it is.
I'm not sure, but that's
Oh.
something we would look into.
Maybe for
We'll
bigger
probably have something
units,
else.
but.
They'll love it.
All right, other business. Anyone have anything else?
We've had a good 2 weeks.
Okay, we need a motion to go into executive session.
Mayor Hickens, I move we go into executive session pursuant to 1 MRSA Section 4056C to discuss economic development and real property.
Second.
All those in favor? We'll go into executive session.